Fresh from the showcase here at Swiss Watch Expo, we are featuring the Cartier Santos, the Santos de Cartier. This is the skeletonized version. It's a 2020 watch. It's referenced WHSA0019, and it's a really rare watch. It's really unusual for us to have this at Swiss Watch Expo. It's absolutely gorgeous. When I used to work for Cartier, we rarely got a watch like this even at our own boutique. So much less here at Swiss Watch Expo. It's a really interesting watch because it has a historic flair and yet a completely modern vibe. The watch dates back to 1904 when Louis Cartier's friend Alberto Santos Dumont, the Brazilian aviator that most of the world believes flew a heavier than air aircraft before the Wright brothers, he asked his friend Cartier for a way to time his flights and not have to pull a pocket watch out of his pocket and take his hands off the controls while he did that. So Cartier invented one of the first modern wristwatches for him, the Santos, in 1904. It featured the screws that were visible, just like this modern watch, and it's a design motif that has reverberated throughout Cartier's collections for 120 years almost now. And this one, though, it's really interesting because they have huge successes over the last few years with the Santos 100, which came out for the 100th anniversary of the Santos watch in 2004. But it's a much thicker watch. This one is a lot thinner, and even though it's a rather large case, it's 40 millimeters square, that doesn't really relate so much to a 40 millimeter round watch. It wears much bigger when a watch is square than a 40 millimeter round. But because it's thin, you can see it's a lot thinner than the Santos 100, probably half the thickness, that it really sits nicely on the wrist. But wrist comfort, I'm sure, isn't the only reason that you would consider this watch, but you can see, I'll just put it on here. And my wrists aren't very big, probably about 7 inches, fairly average, maybe a little smaller than average. But you can see it sits great. It would definitely fit under a dress shirt cuff. And even though the watch is completely clear, you're seeing a front and rear sapphire crystal so that you can see all the way through it. Because there's so much going on with the skeletonized movement and the skeletonized dial, if you will, you're not seeing a lot of your arm through the watch, so to speak. But it's just a fascinating movement, what they've done here. It's the movement caliber is a 9611 MC. The 9611 is a manufacturer caliber. It's all handmade in-house at Cartier, and they've developed it specifically for this watch. It's an incredible movement because they've simplified the bridges and the plates to make it more interesting to look at. It is a double barrel movement, so it has 2 mainsprings. You can see them here up at the top. And in fact, I'll wind the watch and you can see them turning. You can actually see them winding. I don't know if that'll pick it up on the video or not, but it lends a lot of visual interest to it. You can see a lot going on when you wind it. Because it has 2 barrels, it has a power reserve over 70 hours, which is nice on a hand-wound mechanical watch. But they've integrated the plates into the Roman numerals of the watch. So the Roman numerals, it's interesting there. It's definitely a Cartier motif, iconic to have the Roman numerals, but instead of being printed on a dial, they're actually metal pieces that are cut out to be the Roman numerals, and then they use those as the plates of the movement. So you can see the rubies, the jewels in the movement poking through the Roman numerals there as it holds everything together for the gear train. When you look at the back of the watch, you can also see kind of the reverse of those same cut out Roman numerals. You can see this one still has the stickers all over it. It's an unworn condition, but an exquisite find, something that is a definite conversation piece, can be worn all the time, every day for sure. But also it's one of those watches that when you wear it, no one else is going to have it on. Probably no one else has ever even seen it. They might have read about it some online, but they probably haven't seen one in the wild, so to speak. It is water resistant. It's still practical to wear every day. Sapphire crystals front and back. All the gold is 18 karat. And it has this beautiful design case shape that dates back to the original Santos watch from 1904. You can see the 18 karat gold high polished bezel with the screw heads visible. The lugs are curved really beautifully. It's curved with the wrist. It's really, I guess, a Santos galbe, which means curved. Each link is curved and the watch is curved as well. So it's not like the flat ones that kind of sit a little bit awkwardly on the wrist. It does have the Cartier signature blue stone on the crown. And all through the bracelet, you can see each of the links has an actual screw on it as well that's reminiscent of the Santos Dumont aircraft. So you can think of yourself as a high-flying aviator, an adventurer. You might even pick up the book On the Wings of Madness, the story of Alberto Santos Dumont. It's a really interesting read. And click and like and ask us questions and order this watch before it's too late from Swiss Watch Expo.